Admiral James stood aboard the command bridge of the Resolute Asterisk, the last functioning Alliance capital ship in the Arcturus system. Holographic displays painted his weathered face in hues of red as damage reports flooded in from across the fleet. "Sir, we've lost contact with the Dauntless Asterisk and the Vigilant Asterisk," reported Lieutenant Reed, her voice steady despite the chaos around them. Remaining corvettes report shields below 20%. James nodded grimly. The Dominion forces had struck with overwhelming force, their crystalline vessels swarming the defensive line like locusts. 50 ships against 300. The math was simple, the outcome inevitable. "How many civilian transports still need to clear the jump point?" he asked. 17, sir. Estimated time to completion, 28 minutes. 28 minutes. They needed to hold for 28 more minutes against an enemy that had already broken their line. The colonies of Arcturus, millions of souls, depended on those transports escaping. All remaining vessels formed defensive perimeter delta. "We hold this line." His words carried across the fleet communication network. No hesitation, no fear, just duty. From the tactical display, James watched as the scattered remnants of the Alliance fleet rallied to his command. Damaged cruisers, limping destroyers, fighters running on fumes, all moving into position around the civilian transports. The Dominion commander, sensing victory, pressed forward. Their vessels moved with unnatural synchronicity, tendrils of energy connecting ship to ship in their neural network. They communicated at the speed of thought, while humans relied on radio waves and protocols. "Sir, Dominion forces have broken into 3 attack groups," Reed announced. "They'll overwhelm our flanks in approximately 6 minutes." James stared at the display, mind racing. They could concentrate their forces, perhaps hold one vector, but that would leave the others exposed. There was no tactical solution that saved everyone. "Send the coded burst transmission to High Command," he ordered. "Then redistribute shield power to the port quadrant. We'll channel them toward." "Sir," Reed's voice cut through his orders. "I'm detecting gravitational anomalies at coordinates 227 by 453. James turned to the main view screen as space itself seemed to fold inward at multiple points behind the Dominion fleet. Massive ruptures in the fabric of reality tore open, swirling vortices of blue-white energy that dwarfed even the largest vessels on the battlefield. "Slip space ruptures," James whispered, "but we don't have any ships that cold." From the ruptured space emerged the silhouettes of vessels so large they defied comprehension. 5 of them, each at least 6 kilometers in length, their hulls black as the void itself with pulsing lines of blue energy running along geometric patterns. James had seen the schematics, the theoretical designs labeled as Project Prometheus that were deemed too resource-intensive to build. Humanity's dreadnoughts, weapons of last resort that High Command had kept secret from even their highest-ranking field commanders. The Alliance communication channels suddenly crackled to life with a new voice. "This is Admiral Kane of the UES Thermopylae Asterisk. Alliance forces, stand by for support. We'll handle it from here." The dreadnoughts moved with surprising grace for their size, accelerating toward the Dominion fleet. Their massive hulls bristled with weapon systems that began to glow with building energy. The Dominion forces, sensing the new threat, immediately broke off their attack on the Alliance remnants and pivoted to face the human dreadnoughts. Their smaller vessels clustered together, forming defensive lattices as their larger ships charged their main weapons. All Alliance vessels maintained defensive formation around the civilian transports. James ordered, finding his voice again. "Let the dreadnoughts draw their fire." On the view screen, the first exchanges of fire began. The Dominion fleet launched salvos of their crystalline projectiles, each capable of crippling a standard Alliance cruiser. The projectiles struck the lead dreadnought's shields and dissipated harmlessly in flashes of blue light. Then the dreadnoughts responded. Massive spinal-mounted accelerator cannons fired streams of hyperaccelerated particles that cut through multiple Dominion vessels at once. Broadside arrays of plasma lances swept across formations of smaller ships, vaporizing them instantly. Drone swarms deployed from launch bays, overwhelming the Dominion Point defenses. "My God," Reed whispered. The battle that had seemed hopeless minutes ago had transformed into something else entirely. The Dominion forces, suddenly outmatched, attempted to regroup and retreat, but the dreadnoughts had positioned themselves strategically to cut off their escape vectors. "Sir, Admiral Kane is requesting that we complete the civilian evacuation while they engage the Dominion forces," Reed reported. James nodded, still transfixed by the display of firepower. "Acknowledged. All vessels maintain escort positions. Let's get those transports out." As the Alliance fleet shepherded the remaining civilian ships toward the jump point, the dreadnoughts methodically dismantled the Dominion fleet. Their coordinated attacks revealed years of tactical planning and technologies humanity had kept hidden, waiting for the moment they would be most needed. Within 20 minutes it was over. The Dominion fleet lay in ruins, scattered debris where once proud vessels had been. The 5 dreadnoughts formed up, their massive engines glowing as they prepared to escort the Alliance forces to safety. Admiral James opened a channel to the Thermopylae *. "Admiral Kane, I don't know where you came from, but your timing couldn't have been better." Kane's voice came back, tinged with the weariness that came from carrying a heavy burden. "We've been waiting in the shadows, James. These ships represent everything humanity could sacrifice to ensure our survival. We built them knowing that one day the battle would be all but lost." James looked out at the stars beyond the view screen, at the colonies they had just saved, and at the mighty vessels that had turned defeat into victory. "The Dominion thought they understood humanity's capabilities," Kane continued. "Today they learned otherwise, and this is just the beginning." As the last transport cleared the jump point, James allowed himself a small smile. Perhaps humanity had a chance after all.